Content creation for me is something that I do on a daily basis. I'm always thinking about where can I go to test a certain product and how do I shoot it? How do I get you guys the best footage as well as the best audio so that the videos that I create make sense and also look great and sound great at the end. The two products that we're going to talk about today are small, portable solutions that are very flexible. And that's the key here. Why I'm talking about both of these products together, it's because technically you can take these with you and basically hold them in one hand. Also, it takes a very small footprint, but still enables you to create great content on the go. We're talking specifically about, of course, the Pocket 3 from DJI. The Pocket 3 is a small, portable camera with the ability of shooting 16:9 and 9:16 on the go. Of course, great video always needs great audio, and that's where we're going with the Rode Wireless Pro. This is the Pro Edition version of their microphones that was recently released. This is the Osmo Pocket 3 and the Wireless Pro. A great solution for on-the-go content creation, but not only that, a very flexible solution for all the content that you want to create. And subscribe and make sure you hit that bell icon so that you're always notified to whenever we have new videos on the channel. So as I mentioned to you guys, this is the solution that we're talking about today. The Osmo Pocket 3 is a portable camera from DJI. This is the third iteration, and one of the really nice things is that now we have we have a support for 1-inch sensor with a larger 2-inch display that rotates into the format of the video that you're recording. If you're recording 16:9, it opens up in this format, and if you're recording 9:16, you tilt it up forward and you're looking at the content exactly as it's created. Pairing that with the Wireless Pro. Now this is a compact audio solution with 2 transmitters and 1 receiver from Rode. Now this is compatible with the Rode Series 4 wireless solution, 32-bit float recording. This is onboard recording and it's easy to set up. And of course, timecode sync. This is an essential thing, especially if you use timecodes for your content. So the audio solution that we're using here uses the transmitter and receiver back and forth between each other to give you that best experience. And the really nice thing is once you have everything configured, you can technically just travel with one of these guys. This is going to be the one that has the actual accessory or the main microphones, transmitters, and receivers. And the way you know that essentially is now that you have that little plug. There's a built-in battery in here that enables us to charge the unit, as well as a sync button. Last but not least, once you open it up, you'll notice that it right out of the box or right away, you'll notice that they are actually connected, or they're basically, let's go ahead and open it up. There's USB-C dock for each one, the 2 transmitters and the receiver. You'll see here it says RX for receiver, and then these are the 2 TX transmitters that we have. Once you have them, since we have a USB-C connector here on the side, you put them in and it starts to charge them right away. They turn on automatically the moment you remove them from the case. So the moment you take them on, there's no need to turn them off or turn them on. But you definitely have the ability of using them in the configuration that you want. So if you want to use 2, you just pick up the 2 microphones. If you want to just use 1 and 1, you can technically pick up both. And here's the kicker. If you just want to be able to use the onboard recording, because you notice that red light that we have in here, it says RAC next to it. I have them configured to automatically record audio on board. There's a 32GB storage capacity here that enables us to actually record content on the actual mics, and you can download them directly on your mobile device or on your PC using the Rode Central application. Once it's done, you'll notice right there it says recording. I'm going to go ahead and put it back in the dock. It'll shut off and it'll start basically recharging the actual unit itself. So whenever you're taking them out, they're always going to be 100% as long as the case is charged. One thing I will talk about, the Pro also includes almost every accessory that you probably would have had to buy with earlier generations. But one of them is this. This is the Rode clip as well as the Rode magnet. Now this enables us to actually use this. You notice how strong this magnet is. It's actually holding it sideways. And this is going to be one of those solutions that you're going to see in most of the videos that we're going to share with you guys today, where I'm actually positioning this and protecting it, and makes it very simple. Now, this is the main microphone here, so make sure that this is positioned and facing directly into the subject or the mouth of the person that you're talking to. They do include accessories to be able to use a lavalier accessory here to be able to get better audio, more personal audio if you want to use it. On the bottom, we have a turn on off, and this also gives us the ability of muting. So if I press it once and release quickly, it'll mute the audio, and if I press and hold, it'll shut off the unit. On the left, we have a USB-C port that's going to be used directly to charge. There is no data transfer. So unfortunately, you cannot use this as a standard microphone to your PC. Otherwise, you pretty much just set. You configure it, set it up the way you want to use it. Both of these are set up the right way. On the receiver, this is where it becomes a little bit more flexible. You'll notice right away, it automatically turns on. It's waiting for the 2 connections at 2.4 gigahertz. You see a battery level right away, and once we have them connected, you get not only the indication of the battery level on the transmitter, but also on the receiver, and you could see the audio from them. So right now what it's doing, it's actually listening to me through here, even though I'm using a separate mic system. There is no interference and it works perfectly great. On the left side, we have the ability of using basically just the out if you want to be able to listen to the audio, so you can monitor as you're listening. So the USB-C port here works very nicely because you're also able to use this as an audio input to a system that supports it. There's a few cables that are included in here for Android and iOS, but also works great with the Pocket, which essentially is the best way to do it. You connect it over USB-C, even smartphones are also compatible with that as well, and you'll be able to use it as an audio input. There is no magnet configuration. This is obviously intended to clip straight onto the cold shoe on your camera. On the side is pretty much there. We have two levels here, the ability of going up and down, and a few options to be able to configure the configuration here as far as changing the gain also, or changing basically any kind of compensation that you have. You'll notice that the second microphone kind of sets up in there, and it's working in merge mode. So both microphones are recording. I can put it away. I can customize them as much as I'd like, and it's pretty much set. The moment you put them away, they shut off, they start charging, and of course, you dock your configuration here. With the excluded USB-C here, you're able to charge it. They also include a lot of accessories, and this is going to be the best way for me. Most of my Android devices do support audio input, and this allows me to use this cable. It's a USB-C to C cable that allows us to actually transfer our audio from our receiver directly into the system. So I can connect this to a smartphone that uses, let's say, an S23 Ultra, or let's say my Oppo Find X6 Pro. Any device that uses USB audio input, this is going to work great. They do also include the other cable here, of course, if you're going to be using this with an iOS device that does not support USB-C. This has the lightning adapter, so see that lightning adapter, that's also included. And of course, for all our cameras, this is going to be TRX or TRX, and those are going to be the one you use directly to your camera. So what I'm using right now when I did the introduction, this is the cable that I have connected to my Wireless Go 2 system. This runs pretty much the exact same way. So all the audio cables that you have in there work absolutely fantastic. And for me, I'll explain that the setup that I'm going to be sharing with you guys the experience from is pretty much just this. I'm using a C2C cable with the actual connector. Lastly, the magnets were originally in here with the clips. I already mounted them directly. We have a cleaning cloth that comes in here. Two lavalier microphones that are included in the kit. So this is, again, basically a one-stop shop that Rode is putting it together. So two lav mics that are able to connect directly into the transmitters, and you are able to use them a lot more personal, so much better audio solution there. There's obviously an explanation about the lavalier 2. This is the two microphones that we have in here. There's a couple of clips to be able to customize not only the wind cover here, a small one, and also color bands so you know which microphone is going where. So there's a few smaller sizes and there's a few bigger ones. But again, at the end of the day, these will work on the mic. Those are for the lavalier. And then the one that have that little circle on the bottom will clip directly to the mic. Before we switch over to the Osmo Pocket 3, I want to connect this real quick to my system here. I want to show you guys real quick the ability of using, so I'll give it a second to connect. Okay. And the Rode Central application, you're able to download directly from the Google Play Store, enables you to actually see. So here's the transmitter, oh sorry, this is the receiver on the top and the two transmitters. Very simple, very easy, and again, all the stuff is on the go. When it comes down to the Osmo Pocket 3, there's many versions available. There's even a creator pack that includes a lot of accessories. Personally, I wasn't able to find the creator pack at the time. They were very high demand for those, so I picked up the standard model itself. And one of the biggest things, of course, here is that you get everything that you need to get going. You do need to pick up an SD card. It does not have a built-in storage, so you do need to provide one for yourself. And one of the other things that they definitely do here, they'll explain to you some of the main features: 3-axis gimbal, active tracking 6.0, D-Log with 10-bit color here, stereo recording, pocket-sized, full pixel fast focusing, and you'll notice that we're going to definitely test that out. And of course, that 1-inch sensor that we have in there. Now, the best resolution we're going to get is 4K 60 frames per second in 16:9, 3K in 9:16, and we're also able to go to up to 4K 120 in slow motion. So a lot of good configurations and options. So we'll start off by this. This is an aftermarket case, very simple and very easy. And what I like about it is it actually has a configuration or a containing section for every single thing. Obviously, this is not the original, but if you do have the original tripod, this also has a configuration for it. You can set it up and put it in there, and then some of the other accessories. I did pick up the battery extender. This is going to be something that you can use for extended usage. It still has that USB-C part on the back to be able to charge. It also has basically the tripod mount at the bottom with a USB-C connector. Now in the box, this is what comes with it. It's a separate version of it. This does not have any battery, but it does provide us again, the tripod mount and the USB-C connector on the back, because on the bottom of the Osmo, you'll notice that we do have one USB-C connector in there, but we have no mounts. So you do need to use this. So you just align it, put it on, it clamps on the side here directly. You'll notice the pattern will basically match on the front and on the back. And now you have the USB-C facing outwards, where you're able to mount it on a tripod and actually do different configurations, which is pretty much how I like using it. So here, you can use a small tripod like this. And what I like about this, it actually has extending arms, and it enables me to basically put this thing and station it whenever I want or wherever I want. But of course, if you want to be able to use the battery, it's pretty much straightforward. Push and hold, separates. You notice these things open up. You can put it back here, and this case accommodates all of that. And now I have an extended battery, helps me recharge the built-in battery that we have in here. So by the way, the battery that we have in here is a 1300 milliampere battery, and the case itself is very nice. It says DJI. You just basically have to remember to always put camera first, down, and set it up. So sorry, I think I kind of tilted it here. So we put it in, down, and you can actually configure it to mount, basically protect the device. You notice that the SD card slot is sitting right there. And this is where you'll be able to use your SD card. So you can actually have a couple of extra ones over there, but I decided to go with the 512 gig SD card. It's the Samsung one, and it's pretty straightforward. You put it in, and then once you see the click or you feel that click, you're pretty much set. We have the ability of turning on by just turning on the camera itself. It automatically turns on. You'll notice the camera sitting right there. I'm also able to one click, turn it on, and then now we have, let's go ahead and get it to focus a little bit. No face detected, but it's basically shooting upwards. The gimbal configuration, I can move it, set it up, go up and down. I'm also able to zoom in and zoom out, basically between 1 and 2x. And then some of the options that we have in here, we have the ability of looking at the videos that we have in here, and then on the right side, go back, and then I can swipe from the right side. I can turn on pro mode, non-pro mode. Dropping it down from the top, we have access to the face tracking, some of the other options in here, different modes for the actual gimbal, changing it from 16:9 to 9:16, and of course going into the settings section, and you can configure almost everything, as well as actually configuring and connecting it to the Osmo app. This is the Mimo app that you're able to download directly from their site. I want to separate the extra battery. I separate it right there, and I can put it back in the case. And now it becomes a very small and very nimble configuration. But out of the box, it is a 1 to 2x, but now my 1x is actually pretty much an ultra wide, and when I zoom in, I'm actually able to go and it zooms a little bit more into that configuration. So if I remove this, you'll notice that it actually has a better field of view. So very nice, very simple solution. And then of course, if I want to be able to change the options, change any kind of video, click the button on the bottom, swipe up, configure it, set it up the way you want it. One of my favorite features about this setup is the fact that it's so portable and so nimble. Now, obviously I have it right now set up on a tripod, and I say I want to be able to do content like this, a 16:9 aspect ratio content. I have my here, this is the Wireless Pro. Of course, I'm connected. It has face tracking on. I can move back and forth. Everything stays the same way I want it. And this is where the benefit happens. The audio level stays the same. If I'm standing next to you, if I'm standing further back, I'm walking all the way back to the other side of the backyard. And this is where the benefit again comes in very handy. I don't have to rely on the internal mics. I can use the internal mics as backup in case something does happen. But the benefit here is that I'm using a wireless solution, high fidelity audio solution here that is connected directly on to the the Osmo Pocket 3. 1. 2. It records audio automatically by default and has a backup audio version of the file. So not only does the video that I'm recording right now have audio built into it, so there's an audio, basically video and audio are synced. I have a backup audio here. God forbid something happens and I want to be able to pull it up, it's here. And let's say I want to be able to create a separate type of content. Let's say I want to create content for TikTok, Shorts, or Reels. I can do that easily by just flipping the camera. And now we're creating content for that type of social media. I'm again still being tracked. The configuration works the exact same way. The mic runs the way I want it. If I want to be a little bit more discreet, I can use the lav mic attachment that they have. You attach that directly into the mic, put the actual transmitter maybe on your pocket, on your side, less of an obvious kind of a thing sitting on your chest, and of course just use that to create content and record with it. Again, audio quality to the next level with backup solution available here, and the flexibility of the Osmo Pocket 3 allows this to be very nice. So we're outside now. I'm right next to some running water, so you probably are still able to hear that. One of the things I love about the Osmo Pocket 3 is the level of attachment. This is something they carried over from the earlier generations. So this is one of the really cool attachments that you can get. Now you can get this as part of the creator package or buy it separately directly from DJI, but it's an ultra wide lens. So see how the frame is right now. It's a little bit bigger. So basically it drops us from the 1 to 1.75 ultra wide. So we're able to fit in a little bit more. The one limitation though is, although this is great for being able to be close up to things like this, and of course, my buddies, the little ducks right there, I'm showing you guys a little bit of that B-roll right now. is obviously the ability of recording with it. But what if I want to step away? This is where the audio starts to suffer. I have to actually project over for you guys to get the same experience as I have if I'm sitting there and talking to you guys directly. Conversely, if I wanted to move, it moves with me. It does face tracking, it keeps track even though I have the hoodie on. But obviously the best experience is going to be the same way we've done it in the other samples. It's the ability of using an external mic. Something like this, and we talked about this is the Wireeless Pro from Rode. Now a system like this with the Wireeless Pro is, as you can probably hear now, there's a lot more sound over there. It processes audio in a much better experience. It also gives me the ability of stepping away from it. I can actually do a little bit more about talking about where I am right now, as opposed to have to worry about, can you hear me? Do I have to project? Do I have to annoy half the people around me where there is nobody right now? This is too early. But the experience changes with that experience of using the audio peripheral that works the best. Mentioned to you guys before, we have a little bar at the top that tells me exactly how my audio is going to be, if I'm peaking, if I'm not. Obviously, you can adjust this in the audio settings. Some of the best experiences are going to be like this: hands-free, on the show floor, anywhere you want to go, with friends, with family, portrait or landscape. It's just going to work. This is the level of experience that you're going to be expecting from a solution like this. Small portable camera with a 1-inch sensor and a really good audio system here that allows us to actually just record on the go. The entire thing literally can be held in one hand by me and carried with me anywhere I want. I take it out, set it up, I'm ready to go. I'm using a small little Targus tripod with this, a little bit different than what comes in with Rode, because this enables it to actually extend a little bit. So I can have a slightly higher perspective, or I can keep it where it is. All of the samples that I showed you guys before were of me outside in somewhat well-lit experiences. The biggest experience is this is what it should look like or sound like if you're using it indoors, where there's not exactly the most ideal studio light. I don't have my studio light. I literally have just a lamp that's on the other side of the office, and it's giving me enough light. And you can kind of see it right there. So that's where the light is coming in from our left. So overall, good experience. What we saw there essentially is great video with even better audio. Surprisingly, the Osmo, the built-in microphones in here, the 3 mics are actually pretty good as long as you're close enough to the actual mic. The moment you step away, this was literally the moment I started seeing that. The moment I decided to step back a little bit. Face tracking was on point the entire time. There was no point when I was able to walk all the way to the back of the backyard and come back in, or even when we were over by the pond, there was never a point where the camera lost focus of me. The moment you turn it on, the moment you flip it over to the front-facing camera and you lock it on a subject, it absolutely is fantastic. If you walk around it, it'll do almost, I want to say, like not a 360 walk around. It actually does have a certain range where the gimbal won't go around, but if you want to do walk around, it works really good. Creating TikToks, creating content from this in either standard 16:9 or 9:16 is going to be a breeze. The thing about this is to understand is this is content creation at its best. Great camera solution for on the go and great audio solution on the go. Now, this isn't limited to basically, as I mentioned to you guys at the beginning, this isn't limiting to using it with the Osmo. This will work, the Wireeless Pro will work with a camera like the one we're talking right now. I'm using a Rode solution here to share with you guys that experience. And you can compare the audio between what you're listening to right now and what you listened to when we were using, again, with the Osmo Pocket 3, because all of that was on the Wireeless Pro from Rode. So great combination of experience as far as audio from Rode. The best literally on the market right now when it comes to wireless solution. Great audio, I'll say great audio isolation, great experience, and great kit, because every accessory that you need for the Wireeless Pro is included in the package. There's nothing to buy. You're literally ready to go out of that. Where it came down to the Osmo, I probably would recommend, if you do need a little bit more of a better kit, pick up the Creator Pack. That one definitely has a better solution because it includes a certain accessory pack where, for me, I had to pick up the extra battery or the extended battery use separately, and the ultra-wide lens also separately, which didn't necessarily cost as much as the Creator Pack, but that one included a case. There was also the wireless DJI microphone that comes with it, which definitely makes this a much better, well-rounded experience. But if you're looking for great audio on the go with any system that you want to use, the Wireeless Pro is your thing. If you're looking for a great camera, not necessarily your main sensor camera, just make sure that this is something that you can consider and use. I think the Osmo Pocket 3 is hitting it out of the park, and everybody that I've talked to has loved it. I went to Shenzhen with a company not that long ago to be able to cover their content, and I kid you not, everybody was walking around with the Osmo Pocket 3. Does this make sense to you as far as a solution? Have you thought about the Osmo Pocket 3? Or even if you've ever heard of Rode, this is the job of, this is the thing they do. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, my podcasting mic is basically a Rode solution, and I use them on a weekly basis on my podcast. So it's a big thing for me to be able to showcase great tech. Like and subscribe as usual. Thank you very much for the support. I'll see you in the next video.